Dear friends, welcome to the next session for Information Security Fundamentals. So in today's session, we will be discussing about the various network troubleshooting tools as well as the processes related to network troubleshooting. So let us get started. So first we will start off with what is network troubleshooting, and then we will continue with the various processes and steps as well as tools. So network troubleshooting is basically a combined measure and a collection of processes which are used to identify, diagnose and solve problems within a computer network. Basically, it is a logical process which the network engineers use to resolve network problems and improve the operations. However, some of the physical part is also dealt in this process, and we will see what are they. So troubleshooting basically is an iterative process, and the more the data is collected and analyzed, the higher is the likelihood of developing a correct hypothesis. So even if some of the collected data does not lead to a correct solution, that particular data can be used for developing a model in future for troubleshooting. So if we analyze the basic network problems, we can categorize them into six major types. The first being the cable problem, and this cable problem is used to connect is arises when the cable which is used to connect two devices gets faulty, shortened or can be physically damaged. The next network problem can be a connectivity problem where the port or interface on which the device is connected or configured can be physically down or faulty, to which the source host will not be able to communicate with the destination host. So it might be the failure of a particular system, a node, a port, or the entire network as a whole. The third important problem might be a configuration issue, which might arise due to wrong configurations or looping the IP or routing problem or other such issues, and the services will definitely get effective if such type of configuration issues occur. The fourth and one of the major issues is a software issue, where owing to software compatibility issues and version mismatch, the transmission of IP data packets between the source and destination is interrupted. So it is extremely important for us to understand the software and the platform in which we are configuring the network. The fifth important issue is the traffic overload, and this arises when the link is overutilized, then the capacity or traffic on the device, and it is more than the carrying capacity of the entire device. And because of this overload conditions, the device will start behaving abnormally. So if you consider a traffic overload, it exactly you can resemble it to the traffic jam which occurs in on roads. Suppose there are a lot of vehicles on the road and there is not enough space for the vehicles to move on it, so it might arise the problem of traffic jam, where the vehicles will get stuck wherever they are, or they will not reach the source, they will not reach the destination from their source within the stipulated time. So the same thing can be replicated, or the same scenario gets replicated in network as well. So if the device do not have the capacity of sending as many packets, or the route, let's say the bandwidth of that particular network is not big enough to send a lot of packets through it, then there will be a traffic overload problem, and this will significantly affect the network communication, because the devices involved will start behaving abnormally, and moreover the packets will not be able to reach from the source to the destination. The final category of network problems are network IP issues. So this arises due to basic improper configuration of IP addresses and subnet mask and routing IP to the next hop. So it is like giving a wrong address or pointing to a different address than the intended one. So if we do not have a proper configuration of IP, or we do not have a proper address, then definitely the destination IP will not be reached by the packet which is sent from the source IP. So it is extremely important for the configuration as well as the IPs to be correctly configured, so that the packets reach from the source IPs to the destination IPs within the given amount of time. Now talking about the standard troubleshooting formula. In our previous slide, we saw that there are various network issues related to the network, and it starts off with the physical connections to very logical configurations and issues. So basically, if these kind of problems arises, the services to through that particular network, or the services to the clients, or the services between servers and the communicating machines gets interrupted. Hence the troubleshooting arises, the need for troubleshooting arises. So basically, this troubleshooting is a systematic approach to solving the problem, which will make the engineer or the developer a faster and smarter troubleshooter. And in every network nightmare scenario, the faster you are, the better is the troubleshooting capacity, or the better will be the scenario. So this systematic approach has definite steps inside it, and we will look at each of the steps in as of now briefly, and later on we will look at each of the steps in detail. So to begin off, this troubleshooting depends on a simple formula or a simple mantra. So this is define, isolate and solve. So what do you mean by define is, we have to understand and categorize the network problem first. After that, we have to isolate it from the other issues or other problems which might be there within that particular network. And finally, we have to solve it. It generally follows a greedy approach, where we have to first grab the most easily solvable or most conveniently solvable problem and solve it first if it does not have any dependency. And then we have to go ahead with divide and conquer method. So the more faster we are able to solve those problems, the better that network will be, and we will be called as a better troubleshooter. So solving a problem might take any time between seconds to months to years. So we have to understand the vitality of the network and the vitality of the problem, and accordingly behave and accordingly use our troubleshooting capabilities in order to solve it. So once the basics are checked, like making sure that it isn't a physical layer problem and that the involved devices respond to ping requests, the real troubleshooting starts. So in our previous sessions, we have discussed related to some of the configuration commands, where ping was one of them. And ping is basically responsible to identify whether the system is communicating well in the network. So we have to first categorize and define and identify if our device is working fine in the network, or it is at least responding to ping requests. And after that, we also have to understand that it is not a physical layer problem, or there is no cable connection issues. So if these two does not persist, that means it is not a physical layer problem and it is responding well to ping request, then the real troubleshooting for other logical issues can start. So most troubleshooting involves a rule in and rule out process to help narrow down the location and cause of the problem. So rule in and rule out essentially means that we have to find out which problems or which are the issues which do not have any impact in the services and which are the issues which has impact in the services. So once we identify them, so we have to rule out those processes which do not have a direct impact on the network services, and we have to rule in those issues which might have an impact in the network system or the services. So if you look at the network troubleshooting flowchart, you will see that we have to start off with the process by defining the problem and then gather facts related to that particular problem, because a problem will come with lot of properties, dependencies, and various other attributes which are associated with it. Then we have to consider possibilities as to what might be causing those problems. So once we can identify or once we can consider those possibilities, we have to create an action plan which will be working on those possibilities or chances that might lead to that problem. And after creating the action plan, we have to implement the action plan and observe the results. Now, when we are observing the results, essentially it might be so that whatever action plan we have generated or we have identified or created, it will solve the problem. So if the problem is solved, we have to follow an approach where we need to document the facts. Now, documentation of the facts, talking about facts means the various attributes related to the problem and what was the action plan created and what steps did we take in order to resolve that problem. And after that we can finish off with the entire troubleshooting process. Now why documentation is important? Because if any such problem arises in future, the developer or the engineer can directly go back to the document and see what were the steps taken when we previously solved this problem. So the next important factor is if we find that the action plan that we implemented did not resolve the issue. If it did not resolve the issue, so we will follow an approach where we will utilize the process. That means we will utilize the entire process of identifying the facts, considering the possibilities, and generating the action plan and implementing it. So all of these steps will be utilized for a future reference, and we will start off again with gathering of facts related to the problem, and we will go on this in an iterative way until and unless the problem is resolved and documented. So these are very basic steps. This is just like solving a normal problem where you will first find out the problem and you will find out the possibilities which might affect that, which might lead to that problem, and then we will find out how to tackle all those possibilities or chances, and finally we will implement the various changes which might stop that problem. So once that problem is stopped, we will document the entire steps, and if the problem is not solved, then we will again go ahead with gathering of facts. But we also have to keep in mind that we will utilize the failed process, and maybe we can also document it saying that this, if we take these steps, this is not going to work. So documentation at every step is very important. So when we are talking about these troubleshooting steps, we saw the flowchart, and these are just simple steps where we will collect the information, develop an hypothesis. Hypothesis essentially means creating the action plan, and after considering all the possibilities, we have to then test the hypothesis, which means we are implementing the action plan, and we are going ahead with implementing a fix using that particular hypothesis. Now we have to verify if the problem is solved. If the problem is solved, we have to notify the users, which is an automated process, and document the fix. If not, then we have to again go back to collect information and then follow the same process. Now it is not so that this is just for simple network problems and simple IT environments. This network troubleshooting steps or that flowchart holds true for complex IT environment as well. Almost in all IT environments, we have to use these troubleshooting steps. So now, the first step was to collect information or to gather facts. So what type of information is that we have is there that needs to be collected? So it is critical to make sure that enough knowledge about the scope of what part of the network is included in the problem and what part of the network can be safely excluded. So this is basically your ruling in and ruling out process. So what can be kept and what can be omitted. And also we have to answer basic questions like who is having the problem. Either it might be a single user problem or multiple user problem, or it might be a single applications or multiple applications or all applications, and has anything changed because of that particular problem, or if it has already happened before and when did it happen. So if we can at all reproduce the problem in future, and was there anything done differently in order to tackle that particular problem. So all those information has to be collected prior to actually moving ahead with troubleshooting. So now we will look at some of the network troubleshooting tools which are already there in the market for network engineers to implement. So the first one being the SolarWinds Engineers toolset. So basically it contains over 60 tools, and these 60 tools will help the engineers to automate the network discovery. And for automated discovery, it has a set of tools like port scanner, switch port mapper, SNMP sweep, IP network browser, etc. At present, it might look little Greek and Latin for us, but when we will be doing our networks course, so it will be crystal clear as to what these terminologies really mean. So basically now we have to focus more on these network troubleshooting tools, and these tools will the first one, that the SolarWinds Engineers toolset, primarily it is used for network to automate the network discovery. Moreover, it has powerful diagnostic capabilities and it performs real-time monitoring and alerting. So it provides some features of IP address and DHCP. DHCP is Dynamic Host Control Protocol scope monitoring, configuration and log management, as well as enhanced network security. So it is a complete package for troubleshooting, and there is also a tool set available which can be integrated with a monitor, a network performance monitor, and this tool will help us to perform network stress test with WAN Killer. So all these tool sets, combination of these tool sets will be helping us to generate random traffic and will allow us to adjust packet size, bandwidth and percentage of bandwidth. So everything can be simulated and checked if any issue is caused by any of these parameters. So we can actually replicate the entire network in this particular monitor, and with the help of these tool sets we can actually create a dummy network and check where the problem is. So it offers a fully functional free trial for 14 days, but however the license version is around $14.95. So it is quite expensive, but it is worthy if the network security is concerned. The next one is Opkio. It is a simple network performance monitoring solution which provides real-time end-to-end performance monitoring to help us assess the health of the network and core business applications to quickly identify intermittent network problems within minutes. So one of the fastest network troubleshooting tools is Opkio, and basically the uniqueness of this particular um, troubleshooting tool is it identifies the causes of for common network problems like voice over IP, videos, and application slowdown. So most of us face this application slowdown. The downloading speed is low. Sometimes there are delay in sending and receiving the messages. So basically this Opkio software application will be giving us a real-time performance monitoring of the entire system. So basically this is used for some business related purposes in a wide range. However, for personal users also, Opkio is a fantastic tool for troubleshooting. And now it also deploys network performance monitoring agents at strategic locations in your company's offices or network destinations to easily identify the source of system failure so that you can quickly apply corrective measures. So basically it is much more faster than other existing network troubleshooting tools, and it will alert the user as soon as the problem occurs or even there are signs that a failure is about to happen. So before the network fails or before the application fails, you actually get an alert that it might fail, and you can keep a backup of all related information, or you can at least send an alert to stop sending messages to your client or to your server before the disaster happens. And the most interesting part is it does not only alert us but pinpoints the source of the issue and also allows us to go back in time to complete a diagnosis. So it is like a complete package for troubleshooting as well as finding out what has caused that problem, where has it occurred, and what can you do in order to resolve that particular problem. The very simple troubleshooting tool, or rather a command, we can say it is known as ping, and by using IP-ICMP echo request and echo reply messages, the ping tool verifies the reachability to the destination at the remote end. So basically this tool is used in order to find out if the device is actually responding to a network request or not. It contains two messages. First is if the data packet is competent to receive the messages from destination IP address, and second is the round trip time for the process. Now round trip time is the total time calculated for a packet to move from the sender to the receiver and back from the receiver to the sender. So it is like a complete round, and so this round trip time is also displayed in the form of messages. So these two messages are extremely important, because if the round trip time is not calculated, or if the round trip time is more than the actual allotted time, that means that there is some problem with that particular network, and we can easily identify what has happened to it. However, ping is one of the primitive and traditional approaches. There are much more advanced approaches which we have already discussed in the form of engineers tool as well as Opkio. So ping is a very basic tool as compared to others. The next is a trace route, and trace route, it sends the ICMP, which is Internet Control Message Protocol, echo request message with a step-by-step increase in the IP time to live values. So basically this trace route is another tool which is considering the time to live, which means the total duration or the amount of time the packet will basically the message will basically be alive in the network. So with the help of this trace route, the router will be able to keep a record of which route is followed by the packets to reach the destination and calculates the latency and other parameters as well. So trace route provides a unique property of finding out the actual roadmap of how the packet is traveling between the nodes. However, this is also one of the primitive approaches as similar to ping, and however for smaller network issues we can still use traceroute. So the final tool is the protocol analyzer, and it is an advanced tool for finding out the network issues. So basically it is a software which intercepts and records the data packet flow between source and destination. Like if the system is running slow, then it can check for latency issues and other networking problems, which will help in diagnosing the root cause. So protocol analyzer is a little advanced than traceroute and as well as ping tools, because it will generally intercepts and records the data packet flow between different devices, and if some systems are running slow, it also identifies what might be the problem related to those or what might be the networking issues related to those systems. So all these network troubleshooting tools, so these are just a few of them, a lot of them are available in the market as well for network troubleshooting issues or for troubleshooting purposes, and it is entirely up to the user or the engineer as to which tool he or she wants to make use of. So for business purposes, Optio could be one of the best. However, for smaller issues, we can simply go ahead with a ping tool or a traceroute or a protocol analyzer or maybe a engineer's tool. So these tools has to be widely chosen so that the issue is resolved faster and with minimum amount of damage. So that is all for this session. Thank you.